Awesome. 3:30 in the morning. Heading out on our public land draw hunt. Got the gear loaded. Gonna be a good day. Nice, crisp, cool morning. 20 degrees here, give or take.
Deer on their feet like crazy.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go slay one. Let's do it. I bet after today you'll have one of these.
eBIKE?
Too long.
I'm already planning on it.
So here we are unloading the gear. It's super cold, it's super early, and Josh and I had never hunted together. We're really excited. It's been 15 years since I've been on a managed hunt in the state of Missouri, and I don't think Josh had ever been on a managed hunt in the state of Missouri. Not to mention, we've never been to this place before in our lives. I've never stepped foot on this particular piece of public ground, and so all of these things combined for a lot of excitement. But with that were some unknowns. We just didn't know exactly what approach we wanted to take, and we kind of deliberated back and forth for a little while the night before. And we were both studying Onyx on the computer while talking on the phone, and then cross-referenced it to maps and all on the paper maps for the state of Missouri. And we finally decided that we were just going to get deep. Get there as early as possible and get as deep as possible. Our logic there was, since it was so cold and it was pretty calm that morning also, that the leaves were going to be super loud. It was the first Saturday of the managed hunt, which lasts the entire month of December. And so we were going to get in the farthest back corner we could, in thinking that, the other hunters that came in later were going to be at a minimum pushing deer back towards us. And there were some really good looking spots back there. So I use my usual technique when I'm going in blind into unknown territory. And that is, on my computer, on Onyx Maps, I draw a shape. I create a shape that I can then pull up on my phone in the dark and the way in, and it will give me an idea of where I want to go. So typically when I start to approach that shape, I start to look for terrain features, confirming those terrain features visually that match up with the map that I saw, and look for anything just outstanding that sticks out that I would want to hunt. Believe it or not, you can actually tell pretty good with shooting lanes in the complete dark. I guess I should say, in the semi-dark. If it's not pitch dark, that can get a little bit more difficult, depending on the level of the moon. But anyway, so that was the plan, and we went in, and sure enough, I was able to find my location pretty good, I thought. I liked it. I got back in there, and I found one terrain feature that I really liked that I was able to confirm after seeing it on the map, and the rest of the morning folded out something like this. After the 3-mile bike ride in the dark and locking up the gear, Josh and I went our separate ways. I walked about a half mile in the timber up to a ridge top where I hoped to lay eyes on a mature buck that we could then target the rest of the day. More of an observation sit, my first time in this area. But at about 8:30, At 8:30, and shortly after a soft grunting sequence, I heard something behind me and to my left. As soon as I looked, I saw a rack working its way towards me, and it didn't take long to realize that he was a shooter. I thought he was going to work towards my 12 o'clock, and sure enough, that ended up to be true. On the open ridge top, in that open timber, it was a little bit difficult to get prepared to shoot, but I just moved very slowly and stealthily. And when he crossed my 9 o'clock at about 20 yards, I was almost ready to do everything except for draw back. As soon as he crossed behind a tree at my 10 o'clock, I drew back, but my arrow came off my wrist. I had to let down and redraw, and I stopped him at 18 yards, and I was leaning out as far as I could off of the tree, but there was a limb that was in the way that was guarding the scapula. I couldn't hug the shoulder. So I had to lean back a little bit further and put it just behind his shoulder, and I put a good shot on him, and I watched him walk off.
Well, I did confirm I got a pass through. The arrow's down there, nice clump of hair. Looks like I can see blood, but I don't like the way he walked off. Now, he was limping when he came in. He's an old brute. But I could see him about 100 yards away, just walking off. I don't like that. I climb down and inspect this arrow. Hopefully you got good news. Doing a little scouting. Walking a long way around to the shot area to go track my buck. And scouting my way through here. And Josh is really excited to climb that hill. Right?
Absolutely.
I can't even hardly hold him back.
I'll race you.
Okay.
I'll get a halfway head start though.
Okay. So the plan is to come in on the opposite side from the upwind side, having the wind in our favor and anticipating he will be bedded with his back to his trail. And we'll be able to walk on the trail real quietly and glass the opposing hillside where I last saw it. A little bit of an unorthodox approach here, but I think it's the prudent way to proceed. Oh, and this will be fun. Oh yeah.
You're gonna walk that, right?
Heck yeah. Yeah, about 12 feet down. Easier.
Here's the Marco Polo video that I sent to the Tethrd Elite crew. Pretty good. Guess what we found? Say hi, Josh. Nice 10-pointer. He was dead all along. I mean, he died, within an hour after shooting. Came down here, was right underneath that log. He made it downhill, and that was it. And it's a pretty good downhill, but I reckon he's probably 230 yards by the GPS from the shot location. And look at that. The yotes already got into him. Shot him at 8:30 this morning. He was stiff as a board, and I don't know why the yote stopped. Maybe they stopped when I came in, but nice 10-pointer. Not real big. I'd say he's 3.5 years old, and he is considerably smaller than the buck I shot. Makes me wonder if he wasn't 5.5, but he was a brute. Fun time. So here was the scenario. This is my first time ever stepping foot on this 1,000-acre piece. You know, we got drawn to hunt, and the hunt started December 1st. Never have I set foot on here. Came in, we got up at 3:20. Josh met me at the house at 3:50. Came down here, rode the bikes back here, and hung in the dark in an area where I've never stepped foot. And at 8:30, this dude came through. I smoked him good. But I haven't done the autopsy yet, but it looks like, just like I suspected, liver and lung. And it's going to be kind of hard to tell, though, because the coyote nibbled on some ribs, and looks like I hit just on the back side of the scapula. But I'll confirm that. Anyway, nice 10-pointer. Yeah. Thank you for the encounter, the long day, the adventure, and the harvest. Good stuff. I love enjoying this moment right here. That's what it's all about. Nice 10-pointer. Yeah.
Try to do one like this so I stay out of the sun.
Wicked Charlie horses, and the work had not yet even begun. So what I found out after the shot was I nicked the top of the scapula, and that seemed to change the trajectory of the arrow slightly, and making it more even, quartering to even sharper. I got the pass through, and I took out a lot of lungs and liver on the backside. There wasn't much of a blood trail at all, but the kudu did work, and I broke off of the blood trailing with Josh, and I said, I'm just going to go down here and look where I think he might be. And sure enough, about 15 minutes later, I walked up on him and made the phone call to Josh. Here's the Marco Polo that I sent to the Tethrd crew while biking the big buck out. Giving a big buck a ride on the e-bike. No big deal.
Lay down with him.
What's that?
I'm gonna lay on top of him and you can drag us close.
This is a haul back here, boys. I can tell you that much. 1.8 miles as the crow flies. 2.5, at least, probably 3 miles on the trail. And it is steep shit, and there's horse tracks all over the place. It's rough. But all is well when you're giving a big buck a ride. Right, Carl? What is it? Carl's deer hauling extraction services. What is it, Carl? I can't remember. CHS, Carl's hauling services, retrieval. Carl's retrieval services, CRS. What do you got for me, Carl? What am I doing? What can I do better? I know you're seeing something. How's that third gear going to turn out in the Sturmy Archer after this sucker? Woo. There's a couple of hills I couldn't make it up with all the oak leaves. Killing mature bucks on our public lands is awesome. Killing those mature bucks out of a saddle and giving them an e-bike ride is even better. If you haven't tried saddle hunting yet, what the heck are you waiting on? On this particular hunt, my saddle gave me a distinct advantage that I would not have had with a tree stand. I don't think I could have harvested this buck out of the stand. Thanks to Josh Challenger for all your help that day. Your help on the blood trail was awesome, and you were a lot of fun to hunt with.